What up? What up? Episode 63 of the Too Thicc Pod, your home for all things sports, cards, and we hope to provide a little bit of levity. I am your sensei for the day, Jeremy. You can follow me at Reckless Cards with my star pupil, none other than Manny.
What's up? How's everyone doing? Jeremy, I want to get started before we even get going. You're becoming a TikTok star.
Dude, Courtney, like, it is necessary with the young kids, man. Like, I didn't touch it. I didn't mess with it. I'm old. I said, hell nah. Miss me with that. But that's the way of the people, man. Like, yeah. Courtney will go throw up a TikTok and get, in serious engagement, get followers, do the whole damn thing, for Reckless. And so I'm like, hey, for Too Thicc Pod, I got to step up. I got to get out of the comfort zone. I got to go above and beyond. And now there's like a competition. Now, don't get it twisted. Courtney's running things, right?
Yeah, she is.
But the contender in me, the fighter, the competitor wants to show her that, if we go there, I'm going to whip that ass.
Yeah, yep. Hey, just imagine if you did like a shirtless dance, how many likes you would get.
Oh, my goodness. Just wait until pool season, right?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe 3 to 4 weeks post-national, when we're in like full summer season and the body is turned up and you know what I mean? Yep. There's going to be videos of Courtney washing laundry on my abs outside in the pool. Like, that's the goal.
I'll just show my thighs, my big-ass thighs.
There you go. We're going to be making thirst trap TikToks. Yeah. You know what I mean? Hey, so we got a lot to talk about today, man. Like, PWCC is taking over the world, it seems like. They're buying everybody. Fanatics has a new CEO. Game 6, Formula 1 up in Montreal today or this weekend.
Yep.
And so much more. So we'll just start with, I think, PWCC, because every time I turn on my damn phone or listen to a podcast, they've hired somebody new. Yep. And so Basketball Card Fanatic magazine, like the creator, the Real 27 guy from Instagram, who was kind of pivotal in some of my early education in the hobby, he took a job with PWCC. He hasn't really officially announced his role, but it sounds like it's going to be something within marketing. And he's always been doing the lives of the premier auctions with Jeremy Lee. And so shout out to a fellow Jeremy in the hobby, also a tall young man. They've been doing that. So that was pretty cool for him because his passion for this hobby is clear. And so I'm not sure what his role will be, but that's awesome. But today I turn on and Nick, the Wharf Sports Cards, who is somebody that we've consigned with, is no longer going to be accepting consignments. And he took a sales role with PWCC. So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, PWCC, like you said, is taking over. They get some nice hires, too. These guys are all, the two that you brought up are really nice guys. They also have Eric Myers, the nicest guy you ever meet. It's crazy when I was starting to do auction shows in the past, PWCC seemed like that one that was the easiest to navigate. I like how they have their weekly auction, but also their premier auction, which you can afford the premier auction, not me. I only go to the weekly auction, which ends tonight. So Jeremy's going to end up with like 3 or 4 cards from the premier auction. But yeah, they are taking over. Every podcast that I listen to, there's like a promo for PWCC. I think I've seen posts where PWCC is going around everywhere, basically scooping up all the content creators, which is smart, right? We see it. There's the people in the hobby that are going to see their brand everywhere because every content creator is talking about it. They're nice people. I got to meet them at Mint. Jesse's the nicest guy in the world. It actually, I mean, it's kind of cool how the hobby is like the ones that were in it for a while are actually getting into the business world of the hobby and staying in the hobby.
In my real life job, I work in infrastructure. And one thing that I learned as a young person in an executive role was we used to target people who were the best at what they did.
Yep.
And as I've gotten older and I've matured, I've identified that like having a specific skill set is in fact important. However, hiring good people, people that check certain boxes, whether it be culture, the way they operate, like just good people tend to do good things.
Yeah.
And you know, I only know Nick and Adam through Instagram messages or hobby night schools or anything like that. But anytime you can add good people to something, I think it's a great thing. So that coupled with incredible technology, a website that's fun and easy to use, along with like extended bidding is kind of cool to me. Like I love battling, but I also hate because sometimes I overpay because my damn ego gets in the way. So it's just cool for people who are trying to make a living in this space to be able to do so. And with, you know, a company who, you know, I know there's some stuff in the past that I don't know too much about, but, you know, it seems like they're trying to do the right thing, and you get good people. I think you're setting yourself up for success.
For sure. I 100% agree with you. And like you're saying, they make it easy for us dumb people to navigate through their website. So I like that. That's a plus.
So you mentioned tonight that you think that I'm going to be watching the premier auction. I'm actually going to be checking out like game 6, and I struggle to disconnect from anything. So I think the goal tonight is to get my lift in, get a shower, get something to eat, and then just sit on the couch and focus on Golden State bringing it home. I had them in 5. You had them in 6. Do you think they get the job done tonight?
I do. Since I called it game 6. It seems like Jason Tatum and the Celtics are turnover machines. They can't stop turning the ball over. Andrew Wiggins has actually came up big last game. There's been talks in the media. I don't know if it's just because they don't have anything to talk about right now, but they're all talking about how Wiggins, the Steph Curry, if no matter what Steph Curry does tonight and they win, does he deserve the MVP? And this actually affects the card hobby, because that's like been the thing with Steph Curry. He's not top 10 because he hasn't won a finals MVP. Andre Iguodala won the finals MVP before him. So are they going to push it on him even if he doesn't do so hot? Because last game he didn't play so hot. Wiggins, on the other hand, is averaging around the same as Andre Iguodala, and he's guarding Jason Tatum and doing a good job of doing it. So that's why people are talking about it. I don't know, what is your thoughts on the MVP? Are they just going to – you think they'll just push it to Curry just because it's Curry?
I think tonight could play a pivotal role. I do believe that Wiggins catapulted himself into consideration. He's playing tremendous. The defense is unquestionably it's moved the needle in what he's doing. What I think is going to happen tonight is I think that Boston comes out, they have a little run, but I don't know if anybody was paying attention to the game end of game 5, but Mr. Clay looks like he's getting really damn close to finding that stroke. And I think he would also be hard pressed coming off of the woeful performance that Steph had for him to back that up with another shitty performance. So you might see some vintage Splash Brothers tonight.
Oh, yeah. What do they call it? The Game 6 Clay is what he says, what he calls himself. So why if they both go up for like 30 points a game?
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, I think Steph would rather have 4 championships and 0 NBA Finals MVPs than anything else. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to – in my mind, it doesn't tarnish his career. For me personally, I don't think any different of him.
No, it's us sports nerds trying to make a topic out of nothing, pretty much.
And if he's a champion, do you really think that that's going to move the needles on his cards that much?
No, I was going to bring that up. I actually think every time – I mean, I've been in the hobby a short period of time, unlike you. You've been in it your whole life. But it seems like every time someone wins a championship, their market goes down a little bit. Not a lot, but it seems like, yes, everyone's excited and for him to win the championship, but when he actually does, or when people actually do, their market goes down a little bit. I don't know if that's like a recurring kind of theme, but when I'm seeing the last couple of years, that's what's happening. Have him with Matt Stafford, but that's a kind of anomaly because I mean, he played for the Lions his whole career, won one. He's like a vet that won, not like one of these rookies. Like Joe Burrow's market went crazy and then dipped. So I don't know. What do you think on Steph Curry cards?
I think if you were selling, maybe a week or two ago would have probably been the time to sell. I don't think they had such an incredible run earlier in the season. We had quite a bit, and then we moved on them. And in hindsight, probably a little too early. However, you can never go, the old adage, you can never go broke taking profit. Like, we had made plenty of money and wanted to get that money for something else. I wasn't in the business of holding it because he just wasn't a long-term hold for us. But I think, like, if you're holding and you think winning a championship is going to significantly bump it, I just don't know if that's there, because historically what I've seen is post-championship, there is that little bit of a dip.
Yeah. And what's everyone thinking about right now? Everyone's thinking about, in the card market, they're all thinking about football cards. So I don't see, how is he going to increase when everyone's opening Flawless, opening Prism, opening City, because everything is coming out right now. So that's another thing to kind of think about.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm looking at basketball right now, if I'm looking at like some potential upside just for easy arbitrage, if you can hold just a couple of months, I'm looking at players that could be moved and there's going to be that buzz. So, like, for instance, Christian Wood, right? Mm-hmm. Go into the Mavs. That's a sneaky pickup. Everybody, he has this like false narrative that he's not a locker room guy, but anybody that's close to him says he's actually like a good stand-up guy, and he's played through some less than desirable circumstance where he's been at. And you put him in a situation with some good pieces there in Dallas, all of a sudden there's a guy who could potentially, I'm not saying he's going to average a double-double, but on any given night, he's got the skill set to go out there and do so. So, people get excited. There's knee-jerk reaction. So it's no secret we've held a lot of Kobe White, and he's starting, like, him packaged with the Bulls' first pick or Vooch. Like, you know what I mean? If, like, Kobe goes to the right spot where they need a two-guard just to score the ball, all of a sudden there's a potential for that little buzz. So, like, from a basketball perspective, that's what I'm looking at. Like, I would not be buying anybody that's playing in the finals right now.
Yeah, and that's a good point that you brought up, because everyone in the hobby thinks that they need to get their best rookies. They need to get the top tier like Ja Morant, Zion. But you can make money off of Kobe White. You can make money off of Jaren Jackson, just off these hype of, like you said, say something were to happen in the news, then people try to want those cards, and then that's when you could kind of sell them at that point. So you're not going to get them like 10x, but you could still make your money back, and it's probably an easier, kind of a lower risk type of investment.
I'll tell you, without going deep into telling people what to do or how to do, because I'm back and forth between Chicago pretty frequently, and that's home. And so we have a lot of Chicago stuff. Mark's Card Shop down there in Downers Grove. I'll take Chicago stuff that won't move at a Detroit show, but it'll go there and he'll sell it in his shop all day. So, I mean, there's just like little things. If you're willing to put in the work and check things out and but conversely, he could have Miguel Cabrera stuff. He could have Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups stuff that me as a Chicagoan, I have no interest in, no desire. You have Verlander stuff. No, thanks. You bring it to a Michigan show and that stuff moves like wild. So your point, it doesn't always have to be high end. Like, you just have to be able to be willing to understand the market, do your own homework. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to Manny. Do your own due diligence. But if you put in the work, man, there's plenty of little small arbitrage opportunities. And guess what? When you start stacking pennies, they tend to turn to quarters. Quarters turn to dollars. Dollars turn into what you play with, honey buns and racks and and whatever you kids play with these days.
That's a good point. You wanted to bring up the topic of like buying into breaks. As your personal kind of what tends to happen is some breakers you go on and see like they have a high price point for a team. Let's say, example, the Patriots. And for example, Mac Jones is in there. But let's go to an example of let's say Mac Jones isn't in that break, but they still have that high price point, right? you think, let's buy this without looking at Mac Jones or without looking at the actual checklist, you could get burned. And there's more into detail of what Jeremy's going to go into, and I'll let him go into it a little bit more. But I kind of wanted to bring up the topic of beware of buying into breaks before looking at checklists. So, Jeremy, do you want to go ahead and?
Yeah. So the genesis of this thought was we bought the Obsidian box, right? And it was funny because I wanted to rip something in that moment. And right, so $400 from the LCS, that's gone. No expectation of getting anything back. If you get anything back, that's great. Part of the enjoyment of that experience was the actual ripping of the cards and recording it and making a video and all that good jazz. However, had I been just a smidge more patient, that same day, Future Breaks, which is a pretty awesome breaker that breaks on YouTube, was doing an entire case break, and you could get the Bears for $300 to $350. So I would have had a chance because ultimately all I was chasing was Justin Fields. So do you think I have a better chance of hitting a Justin Fields for one box with 7 cards? Or do you think I have a better chance when there's an entire case at a lesser price point?
Yep.
So just talking about that, we all understand in the last couple of years that many people are new to this hobby. There's a lot of people who are breaking who I'm sure they mean well, but they kind of look at it as a cash grab. And if you are following on Whatnot, or you're just jumping in and like experiencing different things that are just outside of what you're used to, you'll quickly identify that people either structure their money a little bit different, or they clearly don't understand the checklist and what's in there.
Yep.
So again, if you're willing to do some work, you can find incredible value and or steals within some of these breaks. Conversely, be careful, because if you're not paying attention, and I saw this with one where it was a football break and the Chiefs were through the roof because the breaker thought there was a Patrick Mahomes autograph. And if you checked the checklist, there wasn't. And so, it's not something I ever considered. I just was like, hey, I like Leighton sports cards. And that's who I broke with it first, just because the ease of the website, and they told me what time my break was. Right. And like, because I didn't know, some of them, it's like I pay, but they don't tell you when it's going to be. And then at like 1 o'clock in the morning, you get a message, we're breaking this thing. But I didn't even think to look at the checklist and understand like how that pricing was broken out. So when you see all these people and all these different platforms, take a moment, it's your hard-earned money, check it out and see what makes sense for you. And even if it's not the team you're looking for, sometimes you'll see a team where if you look at the checklist, it's loaded. It might not have the hot rookie, but potentially, like, I use the Giannis example. There was a break where they had the Bucks for $10. I bought into a half case, maybe got a Nora rookie, and somebody else got him for the second, and they got a gold number to 10 auto of Giannis for $10 for taking a flyer. So, I mean, if you're breaking, you already know you're treating that as like gambling. So, I just want to stress the importance of, like, you work so hard for your money. Don't just piss it away, man.
Yeah.
Like try to get some value, extract some value, educate yourself. It's only going to help you in the long run. And if you can't, reach out to Manny. He'll talk you through it.
Yeah. And don't listen to me. Like we always say this, don't listen to us, because like when Jeremy brought this up, I confession, I never look at checklists when I'm like breaker. I'm like, okay, I know the main rookies. I know Mac Jones. I know Justin Fields. I know Trevor Lawrence. But if you go do your due diligence and actually look at the checklist, you could see that there's autos of like these like if you're, for example, I'm a Cowboys fan, Dak Prescott or Zeke or CeeDee Lamb, that's a second-year player. I wouldn't mind any of those. So why wouldn't I jump into that one? I mean, right now there's Micah Parsons, so it's kind of like inflated as is. But let's go to baseball. There's always every year there's a Mike Trout rookie and some product, right? The Angels are usually one of the lowest price points to get into the break.
Wait a minute, you said there's a Mike Trout rookie in every single year?
No, Mike Trout auto. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's like a Mike Trout auto in like most products. Everything when I watch breaks, it seems like I always see a Mike Trout auto. But their price point, why wouldn't you want to? This is when, like, Luis Robert played for the White Sox. When I've seen breaks of White Sox going for X amount, and then you had Angels that weren't going for so much, but you still could got like a Shohei or a Mike Trout. Same with the Mariners with Ken Griffey Jr. You just have to look at those checklists. I learned that in baseball. I never really actually dive deep into the checklist. I need to start doing that because I do lose a lot of money that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think surrounding yourself with people who are smarter than you and they've been in this game a lot longer, I think is imperative to growth. I'm in some chats with some people who, quite frankly, have probably forgotten more than I'll ever learn. And so automatically when there's new products coming out, I've already keyed in on, these are people with big 6- and 7-figure collections who know the game. I automatically understand like why they're gravitating towards one product or another. And oftentimes the first thing that's discussed in these chats are the checklist, the lack of rookies, why were they held out, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. And so, one thing I would encourage a lot of people to do is just continue to educate yourself. I know it's a hobby and I know it's supposed to be fun. And like maybe for some folks, the education piece can be tedious or grueling. Because it is a hobby for me and I truly love doing this, I find it easy. Like if it was traditional school book, environment, I'd be fucking dead. Like I would quit. I would skip, do whatever I have to do, but I like it. But when you run into something you don't know, reach out, ask somebody, create those relationships because there's a lot of good people who are willing to help.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of like breakers, you could go on the opposite end and pull a Mac Jones 1-of-1 out of Flawless. Did you see that was pulled this week?
Yeah, what was crazy about it, the break as well is like it wasn't like the slow roll where the fillers were put in or the briefcase was behind. They just opened it and there was that Mac shield sitting right there. So
yeah, that's when Mojo breaks a ton of product when they don't even slow it on. They're just like, yeah, here you go.
Yeah, it took so long to find the triple logo man from Flawless, and then the Mac Jones shield came out right away.
Yeah.
So I think that's a cool looking card. I'm not exactly like I'm a big Bill Belichick believer. Like I think he is like whether or not you take him or Brady in that whole argument, I think there's no denying that guy has an incredible eye for talent and the ability to put together a system that best capitalizes on the resources he has available, skill set.
Mm-hmm. But is it him or Tom Brady? Tom Brady left and won a Super Bowl.
Hey man, like Tom Brady. I'm not having this argument, man. They're both incredible people. When you put two incredible people together, you get the Patriots or the Too Thicc pod.
I like it.
Yeah, man. The Flawless has been nuts, and I will tell you, the FOMO it's for real. It is absolutely for real. I watched a couple of these, and I'm like, man, I should just go drop, however much, if I could get it at like for $1,500.
Yeah,
I'd probably consider it.
Yeah.
I'm due for a big one. I'm due for a big hit.
But did you see that, like Panini, they raised their prices of this year's product, Flawless? And what kind of bugs me about it, like I don't care about them raising their product. I'm watching these breaks, and they have some RPAs, and you turn them around, and they're player worn. And I know it's been a thing this year. It seems like more and more player worn, but it's Flawless. It's the top tier. Wouldn't you think they would have got a game worn? And it makes you think. I know that they say LeBron James, a triple logo, is all game worn, but wouldn't it be funny if they were just like, hey, bench players, I need your logo for this card? It just, I don't know. I got trust issues with Panini right now.
Yeah, you know what? I for a minute I was like gung ho on it has to be game used, but I'm starting to get to the point where like I'm like meh. Like if it is cool, like that to me that like increases like the value of a card. Like I had that Jason Tatum to 10 that we just flipped, and people are like, oh, that's cool, and then you're like, it's game used.
Yeah.
Doesn't change the way the card looks or anything like that, and all of a sudden, because that's kind of like the buzz, like the buzz phrase in the hobby right now is game used versus player worn. The guy was like, oh, shit, pay.
So do you think kind of like in the future, you know how we kind of think of on-card autos and sticker autos, and there's kind of that premium, like more people want it. You think it's going to be the same way with player worn and game worn? Or you seem like you're already seeing it. People are willing to pay a little bit more for the game used.
Yeah, I'm trying to determine. I think about this often. Like, I'm trying to determine if this is just kind of like a fad, or this is something that's legitimate. I will tell you, I do prefer on-card autos.
Yeah,
and not like I never look at it because I don't look at it like, hey, the player held this card. That never crosses my mind. It's, hey, I've got this gaudy ass sticker that anybody could slap on anything. It really doesn't make the card.
Yeah. Well, hey, there's my second bone to pick. You brought it right up. Obsidian Soccer came out. Was it yesterday? Reece James, Chelsea. I'm a big Chelsea supporter. Was pulled. Awesome patch. I look at the sticker auto. I'm like, this looks weird. This doesn't have, like, with Reese's auto, you could actually see an R. I was like, you can't see an R. Supposedly, it's Sun's auto. It's a different auto on a 101, and it's a sticker auto. So they put the wrong sticker on the card.
Wow. Like, how does that happen?
I don't know. Panini's on my shit list this week because of that. The player war, I know you understand, like the lower tier like product, I'm okay with the player worn versus the game used, but I thought with Flawless you would want to make it game used. You know, people are spending this much money to open it. But back to the sticker artists, how does that happen? How does that get through quality control? Then you have I can keep going on and on. There's Playbook has like this inserts. They're called Thunder and Lightning. So the lightning that goes boom, you know, that lightning, thunder.
Well, I believe it's the thunder that actually makes the noise.
Okay, the thunder goes boom, the lightning comes first, you know. Second grade math, you count between, then the thunder comes. Well, these inserts, every insert on eBay.
That's totally getting clipped, man. You're going to be a human fucking meme for that one.
Courtney, please don't. Thunder and lightning, they can't spell lightning. They spell lighting, like in your house, lighting. How does that happen? And it's everyone on the card. Shout out to I found it on TikTok. I forgot your username. I apologize. But he said like it's everyone, thunder and lighting. They can't even spell lightning.
You would think for a company that does revenues that they do at the margins they do, that would be unacceptable. But to take a phrase from somebody else, they could shit in a box. And we would still, you know,
we would have our mouth wide open.
We would still buy it. Like it's goofy because you would imagine that there's systems in place, multiple checks and balances where, you know, it would get caught. But yeah. Hey, man,
I mean, I got a DM yesterday from Sauce from Double Coverage. He showed me a 1-of-1 flawless, 2 shields, Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf. One of the shields was a Reebok jersey, and it was DK Metcalf. They haven't had Reebok for like 10 years, and DK Metcalf hasn't been in the league 10 years, so how is this from his jersey? Riddle me that, Jeremy.
Hey, man.
I'm pissed.
Why are you pissed? It's not your card. What the hell do you care?
I'm for the people.
Wow. Well, you can go visit Panini and you can do something about that.
No, I need you to come with me to Panini and we could do something about it. You're my muscle.
No, look at this, dude. Like Panini in a couple weeks is just now getting ready to release Prism Basketball as the draft for the upcoming season is just getting ready to begin. Yeah,
it's insane.
And guess what? People are still going to buy it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I guess people don't give two shits. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know. With flawless type products, you would want if they say it's DK Metcalf, why is it not a shield of DK Metcalf's jersey?
Hey, man, you saw those cards that they were doing where it was like for college. I don't know if it was necessarily flawless, but there was a college product where they had like patches from different teams. It wasn't even the same team.
Oh, but we eat it up. It's fine.
Hey, I can't even get those assholes to respond to any of my redemption requests. You know what I mean?
I can't either. I need someone in the hobby direct me to someone. Actually, wait till National, like we talked about before. I want my freaking white box. What is it called? The white speckled box?
Yeah. Hey, man, like National is like, I think about 6 weeks away and gearing up for National this weekend, at least local to us. And I don't want to play down that there might be other big shows going on in the country this weekend. But this weekend, there's two really big shows. There's the Midwest Monster in Fishers, Indiana, 300 plus tables. Everybody and their mom is going to be there. And then you think where the National was last year at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center in Rosemont, just outside of Chicago, they have the Chicago Spectacular, over 200 tables. So like within a few hour drive, you've got 500 vendors just gearing up.
Yeah.
And it's Father's Day weekend. You know, we were going to go as the Too Thicc pod. Manny bailed, typical. And so I'm going to be sitting at home, probably buying stuff on network or whatnot. Yeah. And maybe visit some local shows.
I'm poor.
Feeling FOMO like a month.
I'm poor. I got to save up for National. I got to figure out how to talk to my credit union and get another credit card for National.
There you go. You can be like Shayway, where he punts like once a month. Got to do a story sale to pay the Amex. I like
exactly.
No, I'm actually looking. I'm looking to feast right now because, you know, part of my like daily routine when I'm looking for cards, I go to Discord, and I love Discord, and people are just trying to get liquid.
Yeah.
So they can buy cards there, and they're dumping them for pennies on the dollar. So like, I would encourage you, if you have cash, don't wait for National. Like right now, you've got a tremendous opportunity to scoop up some stuff.
For sure, because when you go to National, these dealers spend, I don't know, X amount for a table. They're trying to get their money's worth, so they're likely not able to cut you a good deal like you are getting right now. So that is some good advice. But don't listen to us.
Yeah, if anybody was watching Hobby Night School last night, you saw that Leighton Sports Cards, Sarah Leighton, the owner, was kind enough to they're going to give myself, Courtney, some table space Wednesday night. I think that's the first night of National, so we'll be set up, going live and doing some stuff. Manny will be there. We're going to be giving away some cool stuff. So I'm excited about National, and like low key, because we do a lot of stuff as a family. The fact that it's in Atlantic City, and by all accounts, it's a shithole. Like we're leaving the kids home, you know, to be safe. So I'm kind of looking forward to a little mommy daddy time away from the kiddos. You know what I mean?
Yep. Kid 5 on the way. Let's get into some of F1. F1 is in Montreal this weekend. How is Team Ferrari gonna screw their drivers this week?
Wait, was this true or was this a meme? I saw something at the beginning of the week with Charles Leclerc that he missed his first flight.
Yeah, he did. He missed his first flight. He's already pissed off. You know what? Maybe he should try something else. Maybe he should go take P5 in qualifier and maybe try something different than taking P1.
Dude, I read a lot this week because I wanted to come out and I was like, I want to have like a bold prediction. But it's if the Ferrari car doesn't break down, the Ferrari car will win.
Or their team doesn't tell him to box when he's
there. You go.
Yeah, he wins. So
my bold prediction this week is Lewis Hamilton finishes top 5.
What's that mean? Russell's going to finish top 3?
Hey, man, Georgie's got to keep that streak alive of nothing but top 5.
Did you see who else has a streak going?
What is it? Nicholas Latifi finishing races?
P16. He's finished like P16 on almost every race.
I saw this great shirt, and it was like his head with like a goat head, and it said Gotifi.
We're in a group chat on Twitter. I think you're in it, the F1 group chat.
Yes.
There's a guy that makes La Cutie shirts with Charles, and I'm like, I want that shirt. I'll pay anything.
Yeah, I think if Manny can get his ass out of bed, I think we're actually going to plan on going live and just chatting for a little bit for at least a few minutes during that race. I'm looking forward to it. I would like to see I'm quickly learning about F1 is I hate when it's like the lead driver's up by 50 seconds
Yeah.
And like they try to manufacture interest, be like P11 trying to get into P10 to get the points. It's like, I don't fucking care what Yuki Tsunoda's doing, man. Like, I don't.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't care. Alonso's holding up the whole back end. I want to see Red Bull versus Ferrari versus Mercedes.
I don't care about a fun Sebi story from 3 years ago when he rode a bike. Like, come on, man. I just want to see some. I want to see some action.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's not the only thing that's going on this weekend. Prism Retail is out, and so I know going by this morning to go grab a little coffee, drive by the local Walmart, and people are starting to camp out. And at least for football, the retail crazies are back at it.
I mean, it sucks because what is it? The kids won't get any of the retail, but it actually is kind of good because it gets excitement in the hobby again, right? I'm the type, like, the person that you need flippers, you need collectors, you need investors to kind of survive. It actually it helps. It makes it a healthy market, except how the market went. Whew. But if we do have flippers or people that actually want to buy it, because I mean, Prism is like the top-notch product in the hobby, which I don't have any idea why it's the flagship. I really don't like Prism as much. But it's actually good. It's kind of
like. What do you like? Don't just go say you don't like something. What do you like?
Tops, Chrome.
That's not an available football product right now.
Yet in 2025 it will be.
Okay.
No, I like Select, but I did like Select a lot until they made it a retail product. I like the idea of how it was just a hobby product. And there was not as many parallels, one-on-ones. 2020 with Joe Burrow and all that, they kind of screw that year up. But prior to that, I like to grab some of these concourses of like Luca rookies, Trey rookie, because people have that bad narrative of, oh man, 2020 Select, it was a retail product, but they don't realize prior to that was just hobby, and the PSA pop on those aren't as much as like Prism.
So I think I really don't have much of an opinion. Like, I'm going to be chasing like the cards that I like.
Yeah.
And I was in agreement though. Like Select was cool, but then the first time I opened, I'm like, this is great. And then I quickly saw that a card that I had, a parallel that I thought was cool, there was a billion of them out there. But I think that, based on today's news with Mike Mahan, excuse me if I'm saying that wrong, being appointed as the CEO of
Fanatics. And then Josh Luber's still the CVO. Is that what it's CVO? Josh Luber's still the CVO, and then you have Mike Mahan. Mahan is now the CEO, and he's going to be in charge of Zero Cool, Tops, in the future, probably Panini when they buy them out as well. So that's some huge news in the hobby. Do you think I have never I guess I don't know who Mike Mahan is. I have to do a little bit of research. I don't know if you do.
I wasn't familiar with him. I did the old LinkedIn search this morning when I heard of the news, and then I'll just read a quick article here. The collectibles division, digital sports firm Fanatics has hired former Dick Clark Productions chief Mike Mahan in the newly created role of CEO of its trading card and collectibles business. The collectibles division includes brands like Topps, Candy Digital, and Zero Cool. Fanatics acquired Topps from former CEO Michael Eisner, blah, 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 blah. So for me to have a hot take, they go on to say that he was a collector, but what else are they going to say? He reports directly to Michael Rubin, and that is about it. So I have zero hot take.
No.
He looks the part to be a CEO. Luber stays on, chief visionary officer. So, Yeah,
there's really nothing it just seems like they're structuring out what 2025 is going to look like. I feel like they're going to buy Panini here shortly. They have to, right? If they're going to get Tots, they have to get. I don't know how they wouldn't get Panini. But But yeah, that's the kind of the big news of today is Fanatics news.
Why do you think that they have to get Panini?
I don't know. I just feel like what is Panini? Because Panini didn't they grab the licensing for football and basketball? Fanatics did.
They did.
So what is Panini going to have? Soccer? No,
Soccer.
but Topps has soccer. Could they buy? They haven't bought the rights for it though, right?
No, Panini has the Premier League.
Panini has Premier League. They have UFC, right?
That is correct.
They
have Prism, but I think that Topps just acquired WWE for many years down the road.
So are they banking that soccer Premier League and UFC is gonna?
I would also add they do unlicensed baseball, and even though I don't touch it, like they must do a decent amount of business with unlicensed baseball because I think today Select came out. Select Baseball Dutch auction started at 350. Floor was at 100. I don't know where it ended because that's just not a product I mess with. Yeah. But to me, I thought maybe Panini might have been a play. But then when you see Jorge Masvidal, your boy, is breaking cards everywhere.
Yep.
And they're really pushing it, and then they delay everything else. Like I do potentially think that with unlicensed and with UFC and soccer and some other things that they could still make some money.
Yeah, true. But I mean, their whole market, their biggest market of football and basketball is going to be gone. So
sure,
they're going to lose a lot. And I don't know.
Like, it would be cool to see Fanatics go after Upper Deck, which would be awesome. Yes. Michael Jordan autographs, LeBron James autographs, hockey.
Oh,
that would be cool.
Yeah, you know what that just reminded me of? Topps UK just made a kind of a post. PSG is now licensed under Topps. Topps bought out PSG. So guess what that means? Mbappe is going to be – he hasn't signed any cards yet. He might be signing cards for Topps in the future, which is awesome news for the hobby. You got Messi on that team, Neymar. I think that's huge. But I haven't heard anything about it unless you're on Topps UK's Instagram.
Yeah, no, it was probably a bigger deal across the pond, as they would say, than it is over here. I'm sure a lot of people like we don't give a shit. I also don't think that it helped that PSG underperformed. Like I think that with that club and the amount of money they spent, a Champions League championship was to be expected, and they didn't even get to the final.
Yeah, I mean, but I think the more exciting people are high on Mbappe, right? That's the guy in soccer. Now he might be able to sign actual product now. Is huge. And you kind of triggered that when you said Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Upper Deck. USA, did you watch the El Salvador USA game?
I did. And let me tell you this. For everybody complaining about the pitch, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. If the States want to be one of the premier teams in the world, a good team goes out and wins despite of the circumstance.
Yeah.
It's no different than us playing games in cold weather when it's advantageous for us. It's no different than, when the States went to Mexico and they played the game at high noon in Mexico City because it would give their, Mexico a competitive advantage. It's no different than fucking Canada playing games on a damn glacier. You play with the circumstance, but I was very thrilled with the heart that team showed and the composure to take a goal down one man, right? Or at that point, was it even again?
At that point, it was even, but they were down a man for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, they were down, but for them to come away with a draw in less than ideal conditions on the road with some players stepping up and taking advantage of the playing time that Berhalter gave them, I thought it was a good result.
Oh yeah, and I don't like that diva mentality, like they're better than this pitch. I hated that. But on the second half, they came out and actually showed that grit that you're talking about to actually tie the game with the man down. They weren't getting they were getting a lot of fouls that kind of were like, but you're going to see that in the World Cup. You're going to see that kind of stuff in the World Cup. You're going to be down 1-0. You might get a red card that you shouldn't have got. So this actually is like a good game where they learned together. And I think we tied 1-1 to El Salvador, which isn't, I mean, it's not the best, but we learned from it.
I'll tell you what, I am more pleased and happy with the 1-1 draw on the road in shitty conditions against El Salvador, more so than the 5-0 ass whipping that we gave Grenada in Austin.
Yeah.
And because I think that those are building blocks for a young squad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's good to face some adversity. It's good to get punched in the mouth a little bit, because when it comes game time, like the true game, I would expect that when they face these difficulties, they're going to already have dealt with it a little bit, and so they're going to respond that much better.
Yep, I agree. And I mean, we're in the, what do you call it? The group of death. We're in the group of death because we're in it, of course. But we're in it, so we're going to play England. It's not going to be an easy match. Yeah, they're losing right now in their Nations League, but they're not in the World Cup. It's a different story. Wales with Bale. I mean, we're going to struggle with them too. So I'm excited. World Cup's around the corner. I'm very excited to talk USA. We're a USA-friendly chat. We have some viewers in Australia, so I want to say shout out to them. They made the World Cup, even though your team sucks, but you made it. So congrats.
Hey, man, I've got a fondness in my heart for Bliss and Esso, one of my favorite hip-hop groups of all time. And so despite all their human-sized spiders, there's snakes that are size of cars, and all the weird shit that kangaroos walking around punching people like they did 20 years in jail or in the joint, you know what I mean? Other than that, Australia is okay by me.
Yeah, okay. As long as I don't see a wolf spider or whatever they're called.
Yep. What we're going to do this week is we're going to narrow it down to a few different things as a podcast we're looking at buying. And we kind of want to try to figure out a way to make it interactive and fun. So we're going to put up a few options this week across all socials, determine what you guys would purchase and why. And like I said, you're going to have a say in this, but as a show, we're going to pool money together, and we're going to try to, make some ducats in this game. We're going to try to become cardboard rich.
And the thing is our fans, they might be like us, and they're going to tell us to buy the wrong stuff. I already know it.
Hey, like I said, this is like the electoral college. It's like you can think you have a vote, but really your shit doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Will, one of our listeners, Will, is going to tell us to buy like something outlandish, and we are not going to listen to you, Will.
Yeah, so I mean, like I definitely think there's going to be some soccer in there as an option. Definitely a little F1. Obviously, we're going to gravitate towards sports that we like, because ultimately, for us, this is hobby. This is a passion project. And like I like taking a chance. So
yep.
I look at it, if it blows up in our face, it makes for good
content,
I guess.
Yeah.
I hate saying that word. I wish there was another word for content.
Yeah. We're not, and that's the thing, we're not content creators. We're just two guys that love what we do. So
yeah, as we just got done making a fucking TikTok.
Oh yeah, we are content creators on TikTok. I'll say that.
I don't identify that. I'm a hobbyist, and that's just part of the game, I guess.
Yeah, we're trying to be what is it, Noah Beck and all of them on TikTok. Show our abs.
I don't know who any of those people are. Like I said, the only TikToks I've ever seen until recently were the ones where the girl would, like, the beat would drop and then she would be like 3/4 naked and looking fine. Those would be what Courtney would show me, and then like I would sit and we'd watch those for 10-15 minutes. I'm like, nice.
Yeah. I think I like TikTok.
Nice. We'll get that up. We'll even leave an other where you can suggest something. But like I got to tell you, like right now, my mind is like getting ready for basketball. I'm loading up on soccer, and as everybody's chasing football, like because everybody thinks they're being slick, getting it out in front of football. Well, if everybody's doing that, I tend to zig when people zag.
Yeah,
zag when people zig.
One of the options aren't going to have football in it. We'll say that. It's going to be basketball, F1, soccer. Maybe we throw a UFC in there. I don't know. I'm starting to get into it, but I don't know the market like that. But those three topics is soccer, basketball, and F1.
Okay, so I know we like to close every episode with a hard-hitting question. What do you got for me today?
All right. What's a funny thing you believed in when you were younger? We know when you got in trouble as a kid or your parents always lied. I realize as we got older, our parents lied all the time to us. And I do it. I do it to my kids now. So it just returns the favor. But what is one thing that they told you or that you believed in when you were younger?
So I've got two, and both of them resulted in me getting made fun of at school. So like I clearly haven't moved on. The first one was like I must have been scared or something, and there was a real bad storm, and my parents told me that tornadoes can't come at nighttime. So I was like, all right, peace of mind. I go to sleep. Well, guess what I do? I go to school and I'm like, yo, my mom and dad, they know everything. I'm on the bus with the older kids.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, dog, tornadoes can't come at nighttime.
Yeah.
Not one of, because I say a lot of dumb stuff. But as you can imagine, as I got older and recognized, my parents set me up to just get absolutely berated as like a third, fourth, fifth grader, senior in high school, whatever the hell I was.
I could see you at senior in high school, and everybody's talking about this big old storm, and you're like, guys, don't worry. Once the sun goes down, we're in the clear.
And then the other was I grew up like poor, and it's not a like a woe me or a cry song, sad story, but like Reebok pumps came out, and they were the coolest shoes. Mm-hmm. And like my bus was filled with older kids, and I'm like, I'm gonna get pumps. And they're like, apparently because I told the tornado story, they're like, no kid, you're a dumbass. And based on your clothes, your family ain't buying you no fucking pumps. So I was like, so that weekend we were going school clothes shopping or something. And I'm like, I have to get pumps. Well, my parents bought me these Spalding pumps where it had the pump on the side and like told me it was the same thing. Like, not even remotely close to the same colors, nothing like that.
Yeah.
I put the pumps on. Again, I'm peacocking.
Yeah, you thought you're hot shit walking in with those Spaldings.
Dude, I was probably on the bus for 5 minutes, and I wanted to walk barefoot for the remainder of time because these kids cut my legs out from underneath me and absolutely eviscerated me with their words.
Yeah.
So Spalding pumps are not the same as Reebok pumps. And tornadoes can, in fact, happen at all hours of the day.
That's funny.
Thank you, science, and thank you to my parents for that.
So mine was I have a Mexican family. My mom's side's Mexican. And to scare their kids to actually being good, they would say in the dark, they would point at the dark and say, hey, you act up, there's a cucuy. And they would say, cucuy is over there, and he's going to come get you if you continue to act up. So my whole life, I'm over here scared of the dark because I'm like, nope, the cucuy's down there, and I'm not going down there. I'm not trying to be taken by this guy. And it's kind of the same as the chupacabra, pretty much. That's another saying. Mexican families, they'll just throw out anything to make you act good. So I haven't done that with my daughter. Maybe I'll start saying the cucuy. She's at that age. I'll tell her the cucuy's gonna come get her.
I did. Like, I got to talk to Court and see if, like, we can just come up with some outlandish, just bold-faced lie and just roll with it, make it, like, a family trend that, like, they'll pass on to their kids.
Yeah, cucuy. Chancla being the deadliest weapon, I still believe that. That's not something that's when I was younger. I still believe the chancla is the deadliest weapon that someone can have.
So do you speak Spanish then?
I understand it. My dad's side's Cuban. My mom's side's Mexican. They speak different Spanishes, slang. So I was always confused as a kid. I'm confused now. So I could never understood why it was different. And I just like, I can understand you guys. I'll just talk back to you in English.
So when I worked in Chicago out in the field for many years, predominantly Hispanic crew, and there was this word, chingadera.
Yeah.
Which was like this interchangeable word. It could be anything. Hand me that chingadera. That chingadera. Like it could be that cup is a chingadera. This. So when I hear the word content, that's like English chingadera because it's such a vague, generic term that gets tossed around. So that's off the rant. So that's how we're gonna close out this dumpster fire of a show.
I love it.
Make sure you follow me. I was reading Manny's note down there. It says he just wants to be left alone. Piece of shit. You can follow me on Reckless Cards. You can follow Manny at Manny_Foras. But first and foremost, follow all the Thicc stuff and be on the lookout because there's a giveaway coming. So
Ooh.
Until next time, I bid you adieu.
Have a good one, everyone.